Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lanese and I blend motivation with spirituality so that you can get the best benefit out of it. Today's video is on how to care about what you think of yourself over what anybody thinks of you, and how by doing that will create massive success, massive alignment in your life. And it will redefine what those other people think about you. And it will make them change their belief systems if they are of a higher vibration. And for those who are on a lower vibration, they might still be playing into the narrative that you are still the old version of you, but that will strengthen you and strengthen your belief systems and represent a challenge for you to continue to believe in yourself, even if people still think you're this version, still think you're this way. So I'm so excited to talk about this, so let's dive in. The first thing that I wanted to start off with is it is valid and very normal in our society to search outside of ourselves to try to define who we are, to try to figure out how to believe what we are. When you were younger, you probably didn't have as much self-awareness because children are kind of in the brainwave state of just being rather than knowing what they are. And so you just navigated through life. You were just being yourself. And then along the way, people started to be like, oh, you like this. Oh, you like that. Oh, you're shy. Oh, you're this. Oh, you're that. And then what happens is we start to take these different things we've heard from people and stick them to who we are and then think that that's who we are. This was just a natural mechanism for us to start to figure out who we are. So it's natural to care about what other people think of us because it was a technique that we used in childhood to try to figure out how we were, how we are. But as you get older and you move through the brainwave states and you become more aware, you can actually figure out what was real and what wasn't when people were trying to tell you who you were. Stop listening to certain limiting beliefs that you heard in childhood or that you heard through your life because some of them weren't really you. Some of them were a reflection of what other people thought that you were because of whatever they were going through in their life. So if someone called you shy or if somebody called you an angry person and you're really not that way, then don't keep identifying with that and find it in yourself who you really are. So now that you're older and wiser and you're on your spiritual path, the way that you care about what you think about yourself over others is you tap into animalistic survival. It sounds crazy. You're like, wait a minute, what? But what I mean by that is, so I was in a car accident in 2017 and I broke my pelvic bone in 3 places. And my spleen had an aneurysm on it and I couldn't walk for 3 months and I had to relearn how, and I had this packet full of rules. I needed 24/7 care. It was a lot, right? And when that happened to me, when I was pushed to the edge of life, when I was pushed to the edge and the doctors were like, we don't know how you're alive, we don't know how you lived, I really got these premonitions of the fact that it's still survival. Everything is still survival. We just live in this world where we have a box house and a box paycheck and everything's all boxed up and categorized and we think it's civilized, and it is to some degree, but the element of survival is still there. When you value other people's opinions of who you are over your own, it's survival of the fittest. In that, right, you're letting their definition of you define who you are. They're winning then. Their energetic vibration in this whole survival of the fittest thing that's going on here, they're winning. They're gaining your power. They're taking your power away and they are defining you. And you don't want that. You came to this planet because you have a mission. You have something to say. You have things that you want to add. And if someone is defining who you are, you can't do that. If you look at the way animals operate and how every day a bird flies around and it has to get the next worm, it has to get its food. Think about how animals are pushed to the edge of death. Every day is like they could die out there. And I think when we lose a sense of that because we live in such safe environments, or at least it seems safe, but we lose a sense of that and we start to forget our true power because we're not using it to that degree. So connecting that back to the topic of how to care more about what you think of you rather than others, you just gotta tap into nature and have to realize that you define you. It's not what others think of you that defines you. It's what you define you as. And if you're giving out your power and letting people define you, it's coming true. And that's why you don't love yourself. That's why you have blocks and hate for yourself. So just shut the world out. I've said this before, but I'll say it again. Go in the shower, let the water run on you. Shut the world out and feel who you are. Define yourself. Care about what you think about you. If somebody at work says something to you and you want to say something back, of course, word it the right way, but say what you want to say back. Who cares what they think? Like, seriously? Do you really though? Think about on your deathbed. You're gonna be on your deathbed one day. What would you rather look back on? Wouldn't you rather look back on you did what you wanted to do? You cared more about how you saw you, how you navigated the world. And the thing is, what's crazy is this kind of has to do with like psychic attacks, but then also like confabulated psychic attacks. Like a lot of the times we don't do stuff like say what we want to say to people because we're worried about what they're going to think. We dream up this whole fake reality of I'm going to say this to that person and then they're going to hate me and this is going to happen and that's going to happen. And it's like, there's psychic attacks and then there's confabulated psychic attacks. There's like attacks that you psychically attack on yourself and you think these people are doing it and it's not even happening. I've stepped into this new vibration where I don't even try to think about what other people think about me. Like I'm like, meh, whatever. You can't read their mind. You don't know what they think about you. You can't. You can sit around and be like, oh my God, they think this and that and this and that. And it's like, do they? What if they don't? And you're just doing that. That's why it's just so much easier to care about what you think about you. Do things for you. You will feel so much better. There's a channel, I talk about them all the time, called Charisma on Command. If you want, you can look them up. They really drill this in on some of their videos, talking about how it's about how you define you. Get your values together. I tolerate this, that, the third. And then don't let people step on those values. And you're gonna make mistakes, you know, maybe you snapped. When somebody stepped on your value, you kind of went off on them. Oops. But care about what you think about you. You made a mistake, okay. Don't beat yourself up about that mistake. Just keep redefining. The failure is there to teach. The pain is there to teach. What do you think about you is something I really want you to ruminate on after the end of this video. What do you think about you? What do you, I'm not asking what your friends think about you, what do you think about you? If some of that is self-doubt, that you aren't a great person, think about where that came from. Think about why you think that. Is the root of that because someone else thought you weren't a great person? Or is the root of that because you made a mistake and you hurt somebody? And, you know, I have other videos on how you can process through and heal things like that. But what do you really think about you? Get really centered on that. And the last thing that I wanted to say that I felt vibrationally called to tell you guys today is have FU confidence. Like, you know how people have FU money, they can just toss it around. Be able to just do things. When you care about what you think about you, you gotta give yourself wiggle room to make mistakes. You are evolving rapidly. And if you've seen some of my other videos, you know how I feel about failure and outcome and how to predicate. Taking the risk is where you should value yourself in. When you take a risk, when you go for something, the way that you feel proud of yourself should be predicated in the act of taking the risk, not the outcome. And so when you have FU confidence, it's like, okay, I'm gonna spend my confident currency on this. And when you spend your confidence currency on something and it doesn't go the right way, it's like, okay, be gentle with yourself. You have to care about what you think about you, but like, you also got to give yourself space. have that best friend brain. Most of us have a really powerful best friend who's always there to lift us up and everything, which I've talked about in other videos. But when you give yourself that level of self-love and you care and you define yourself, other people are like, wow, I was wrong about this person. But if you keep caring about what other people think about you, they're not going to think that. You're going to keep continuing those cycles that they are setting in place for you. So that is all that I have for you guys today. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. It really helps me help you. And subscribe to my channel if you like videos like this. Thank you so much for watching this all the way until the end and connecting with me and supporting me. It really means a lot. I love you all, and I will see you in the next video.